What's up, guys? I hope you're doing really well. Welcome back to a new video. Super excited. I'm sorry I didn't post anything in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I really wanted to, but 2 weeks ago I got super sick, but like properly sick. I haven't been so sick since like 2 or 3 years. And the week after, so last week was ADE. So I didn't have time last week, and the week before I really needed to get back on strength to have enough energy for ADE because it was tiring, but it was amazing. I had a great ADE. I hope if any of you guys were at ADE as well, I really hope it was successful for you. At least for me it was. I was super happy. So yeah. So yeah, new video, and this video is gonna be a bit different topic than the previous videos. I wanna talk about how to stay creative during writer blocks, creative blocks, how to push your creativity when you're not really feeling it, how to overcome these situations that we all have as creators. I mean, you know, it happens and it's part of it, and we just need to learn how to get through those phases and still stay creative even when within those phases. So I'm gonna try to make the video not too long. I'm gonna share some tips and tricks for what really works for me. So I hope that you can get something out of that. Of course, everything I'm gonna share with you in this video is based on my experience and on my view on creativity. Some things might work for you, some things might not work for you, but the main purpose of this video is just showing you how to be creative with creativity, if that makes sense. You know, find ways that work for you. Be creative in finding ways that work for you to stay creative. That's basically the purpose of this video. So yeah, let's go. So the first tip is probably something that you have. Sorry, I'm just gonna wrap this cable around here so that I don't pull the mic down. So the first tip I'm gonna give to you is when you're not really feeling it to make music, or maybe you're just sitting behind the keyboard and you're not really feeling it, nothing really comes out of it, take a step back and start doing something else. Something else that has to do with music but is not directly linked to making music. So for example, maybe you can start organizing your sample packs. Maybe you can buy or download a few new sample packs. Go through the new sounds that you downloaded and organize them. Select the ones that you really like, mark them or put them in a different folder, and make a selection of sounds that really inspire you. When we're downloading sample packs, there's always sounds that does inspire us or does not inspire us. You know, there are kick drums that you like, kick drums that you don't like, and take an hour or 2 hours to go through this selection and make a new selection of the sounds that you downloaded with the stuff that you really like. So that next time when you go sit behind the computer and you really actually want to make music, you don't have to go through a sample pack which has like 60% of the samples you don't like. You have a new selection with a combination of different sample packs, and all the samples really inspire you or really like speak to you, and that can really ease up the workflow for next time. When we're talking about how to stay creative, look, in my experience and in how I look at creativity, I do see creativity a little bit as a spiritual thing. I'm not really spiritual in life a little bit, but creativity for me is a spiritual thing sometimes. And it's really important to understand how creativity works in order to be creative with it and to like push it into a certain direction. And first, it's really important to understand that creativity does not like to be held up. So if you're in a creative block and you're not like actively gonna do something about it, the loop will accentuate and creativity will only be drawn further from you. So it is really important to understand this and see like, okay, creativity is something that, you know, you always have to keep moving forward. And that's, again, what I said in the previous video. If you haven't seen the previous video, go look at it. I go watch it. It's all about this, about how to keep moving forward within your creative process. And that can be when making music, but it can also be when not being creative. How to keep on moving forward in that, you know? It's the same as when I'm producing a track that I know is not gonna be like my next release or not like the next big thing or whatever. I don't care. I keep on moving within that project and I finish it. And that's the most important thing. You need to get it out of your system, and then there is room for the next big thing or next thing to happen. It's the same with creativity. So another tip is like when you're feeling stuck in a creative block, go do something completely different and forget about music for a day or two. But don't just sit on the couch. Or maybe that can also help. You know, I like to game sometimes with my friends. We play Warzone, and sometimes that is nice, and I won't play Warzone for 3 days in a row. But like having a few hours off, chatting with my friends, having some fun, you know, like whatever, shooting with some guns online. I really like it. It helps me to like decompress, and sometimes that just really, really helps. Having a good laugh with my friends, and you know, that can inspire me to like, I really enjoy my life, and you know, I can also really enjoy the process of making music again. So that's also really important. And I cannot push this one enough. Don't stay stuck. If you're sitting behind the computer, scrolling through presets and nothing inspires you, stop that and do something else. Whether, you know, it's one of the things that I've mentioned so far, or go for a run, go to the gym. You know, I train a lot. So for me, going to the gym really, really helps. Clean my mind, listening to some metal music. I love it. That's really, really important. Another really cool thing that I like to do when I'm not really feeling inspired by making music is recording some random stuff. So I will grab one of my hardware synthesizers, and preferably I'll go to one which doesn't have any presets. So right now I have connected my Pro 1. It's fully analog, no presets at all. And this is the sound that comes out of it right now, with the filter down. And wait, I'll actually mute this one. And what I'll actually do is I will start recording some random stuff. So let's move the mic a bit so that I can get to the synthesizer. So this is what the synthesizer sounds like when I play with the filter. So I will just hit record. Something like this. And I will duplicate this. I will mute it. And I will do something else. So I will reopen the filter. See what happens if I take out this cable. Nothing. Let's record. And I will keep doing this for like whatever, an hour or two, and I will just record a bunch of random shit. And I will export all of it in one go, just selecting all the tracks, Command E, I think it is. And I will just throw them in a folder, and I will call it Pro 1 effects or something. And I actually happen to use these effects quite often when I am getting inspired, you know. So it's like this. You can also prepare for the next creative studio session that you have, or, you know, use some sounds that you recorded when you were not feeling inspired. Something that really helps me as well is realizing that a creative process, if you're really an artist in that sense, the creative process is always happening even when you're not feeling it. So accepting that you're not feeling to make music is a really important process of the creative process, if that makes sense. You know, it's all about emotions and feelings and accepting kind of who you are. If I don't accept the feeling that I have about not feeling to make music, I am in conflict with myself. And then how can I expect to make something really cool, you know, when I'm in conflict with myself? So for example, when I am mad, like for me, anger is a real emotion. Like I feel anger deep down and I accept it. You know, it's not like I'm gonna fucking beat up somebody or so, but when I can be really, really angry and then I will just curse and whatever. And I'm totally fine with that. Like sometimes people will try to like calm me down or like say it's totally okay, but I am totally fine. I am just accepting that I'm angry, just like I am accepting when I'm really, really happy and having a crazy laugh with my friends, you know? So accepting those feelings and emotions within yourself is really important for your creative process, because that's also how you express yourself in these moments. Sometimes when I'm just really feeling like let down or whatever, you know, angry or sad, I will often just go for a piano plugin, and I'm like not a really great piano player, but I do know a little bit my way around the keys, and I will just start playing some sad stuff, you know, and that's totally fine for me. I will just, do I still know? I don't hear it. And I really like the C minor scale, and then I will just like, I will just start playing some really minor piano stuff. And I'm not even recording. I'm just gonna play with the keys. And I'm just gonna, you know, have like feel my fingers go over the keyboard and play for an hour. And that really, really helps. I got it out of my system. So that really helps me as well. You know, you don't really have to record everything that you're doing. It's just a moment in time where you just have to let go of stuff and just accept what you're feeling. So yeah, I think that those kind of round up a lot of the tips that I wanted to give you about this. Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, sorry. There is one more, and that is collaborating with other artists, which has been a huge thriving force for me for when I'm not really feeling it. Working with different people or other people, that helps so much. I think that this is actually the most important tip that I can give you, because this resonates with a very long release. So when I'm hitting the studio with one of my friends, just for one day, I feel inspired for a whole week. And like that, it's not just in the moment. I get so many new ideas, and sometimes I can reuse the samples that are recorded in a different way. You know, it's that is really, really a strong thing. And obviously, you know, also creativity is it's intoxicating, if that's the right word. Like, you know, somebody else's creativity really sparks mine. And, you know, this is like a feedback loop, which is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And this is crazy. Like, actually, this can become so crazy that actually last week during ADE, I had a writer camp for a publisher. And I was in the studio with a really, really good friend of mine, Daan Herweg, with who I've been producing for almost 2 years now. And we work so well together. And we produced almost 3 tracks in one day. Like, we made 3 tracks, like not finished products, obviously, but we made 3 tracks in, I think it was like 7 hours with the songwriter. So there was an extra creative input added into the mix. And we just went in and we just went. And we just, you know, working with other people is so inspiring. And that really helps you get out of the creative block when you're having a creative block. That really works for me. And I think that kind of rounds up everything I wanted to say. But most important, guys, be creative with your creative blocks and start to recognize them as soon as possible and find ways that work for you to get out of your creative block. You know, whether it's going outside, stopping to make music for a day or two, making other stuff, you know, maybe make some, I don't know, techno tracks or like hip hop tracks. Do something completely different. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of the loop that is putting you in the creative block and do something else. Feed yourself with new input, because when you're having a creative block, apparently there is something within yourself which is in conflict or which doesn't have enough input to actually get out of it. So that's it for this video. I hope you really, really get something out of it and that you get out of your creative blocks. And, you know, just look at yourself in the mirror and start recognizing what is causing this block. So yeah, see you in the next video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Click on the notifications button so that you don't miss any other videos when I'm uploading, because I haven't been uploading for the last 3 weeks, so that one is on me. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys, ciao ciao.